first item on the agenda is dock inspections. When the planning board was working on the new dock law, we had discussed them taking over inspections for the existing docks that are in the village. I saw the email from Roger. Do you want to fill everyone else in? I don't know if he addressed it to the whole board or not.
I didn't get it.
Oh, he only sent it to me? No.
Today?
No, it was like maybe a week ago.
Roger left.
Oh.
Yeah, you left.
I don't have it. I
Okay,
can't read it.
well, it basically said that, the board had asked the planning board to take over, finding someone who was, capable of inspecting docks, and then hiring that person. And then after doing that, making a list of the docks that would be in the village. So, I'm thinking that what we could do with the planning board, and this would be something that you could handle, is getting all that ready to go up for next year, so that whatever existing docks we have, I think we only have 6 or 7 from what Roger said last time, have them inspected and give everybody 6 months to bring it up to code, and then we could start the process from there, each year renewing it, or every 3 years, whatever the board decides to do. So maybe that's a project for their June meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one thing that we were running into a problem with is that we don't have the records from the only dock we have records from is the last one that was just built.
Right.
So I'm in contact with the town and DEC, but nothing's,
Come back in.
no.
Okay, so.
Is this just a safety inspection or?
It is,
alterations
well,
and
it's in the
things
village
like
code that they're
Yeah.
supposed to be inspected I think it's every year,
Every
right?
year.
But we think that's a little excessive, so we figured let's start with, find out, I think we know how many there are, go see who has to come up to code, give them the time frame to bring it up to code, and then maybe inspections could be every 3 to 5 years or something like that. So that's really all you need. 1 year is a lot, it goes fast.
Yeah,
Right.
unless there's a major storm.
Right.
You got four on this side.
Who on that board is
Now floater on the
qualified
other
to
side.
sit down and inspect that?
They're not, they're gonna find an
Yes.
outside company to do it rather than have, we feel the building department shouldn't handle that, it should be someone who can do that, so that's.
Just for an added, your handyman
Mhm.
worked for Murphy Dock Building,
Okay,
and he worked in the marina in Whitestone, so he knows quite a bit about docks. I don't know if you wanna sit down and contact him.
well, we could pass that along to the planning board.
I certainly know that he knows what he's talking about. He worked for Murphy
Mhm.
down on the South Shore for years. In fact, he did all of the ferry in, I think, in Bay Shore.
Yeah,
Does he have a short resume on that about his experience?
I can get one.
Yeah, send it in to us.
yeah.
You know,
Okay.
So we felt the planning board was best to handle that since this board changes over every 2 years. They're every 7 years, and it would be more
One at a
consistent
time.
of it, yeah, keep going, so.
Which, if I may,
Mhm.
remember I showed you that article from Nike
No comment.
about we have the power to set the limits of elected positions.
Yes,
So the planning board was one of them, so, and that goes for all the appeals or anything like that. So if that's working, then you can change it, but,
so far so good,
okay.
so,
Does that
continuity
include
is the,
what?
Yeah, people stick with it.
Historic docks
Downsides
also?
if they don't stick with
It's
it,
gonna include all dots in the village, should we put up the village code?
you
Because his
You
is
don't have the
not.
continuity and you have new people who have to.
That's not our decision to make, it's the building inspector, it's the
No,
building
no.
inspector to make. Okay, so,
right,
yeah.
right.
Anything else about dock
This
inspection?
way it's only one at a time, if they stay on.
Yeah, no, if it's not, if it's working, in other words, if we don't have people drop
Yeah,
out.
let's talk about that.
Change it.
Okay. Over the weekend. So you'll take, you'll,
Mhm.
okay,
Yeah, Roger and I have been working on it as we're going along.
okay. So the village dock, the bond for the dock, Noah is, the finance company, he's bidding it out to different, people. I know he was meeting with John Tunis last week. He didn't get back to me with what had happened at the meeting, so I'm gonna just table this for June. Okay, if I get any information before that, I'll send it out to everybody. Okay, so now it's time for the, to go back to New York State DOT. I know John, you has had an accident there. on
Did it?
25A.
Yeah, right.
I don't know anyone else, I don't know if you could
There was a
go to the police
a
department and ask
pedestrian
them. There was?
accident, I
Oh,
think
good.
so, yeah.
Oh, well, not all good, but I mean, that
Right.
could be good for our case, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, I
So,
mentioned that to him, that there were numerous accidents at that location,
okay.
so.
Do you need the information to contact them? Do you want me to send that to you? Or do you have it?
DOT?
Yeah,
I've already have a request in, I've contacted them twice
okay,
with emails and a phone call, and they haven't gotten back to me yet.
okay. So I'm gonna
Right.
put that for June and hopefully we hear from them by then.
What are we looking to do? Remember there's the issue of private property, if we really wanted to change anything.
Right.
It got tricky as far as, you know.
Well, this could be a different circumstance, since there's been auto accidents against the guardrail and car accidents.
The car
There's
accident
more
was one coming into Washington, right? John was coming
Yes,
into
he was
Washington?
Coming into Washington.
He was going east on 25A, they stopped for traffic to make the left-hand turn, and somebody plowed into the,
And
behind
the
him.
police report,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
So are we talking, I thought we were talking about Van Brunt.
Yeah, so
Well,
so
it's really, it's both, but I think what we're really looking for is if they just have a middle lane for people to turn in, so you know, you could get out and get in.
Right,
Yeah.
well, that's what we had asked for, but because of the bike lanes there, because of the federal grants, they have to have them. There wasn't room for the 3 lanes, so,
Is the other issue a light? Do they put a light in? But I don't know if they'll do that. You know, I don't know what the solution is.
See, but that's why I'm raising it, because, you know, we're taking it to the next level and we're pushing this thing, but we don't know what we want.
Mm-hmm.
And from the response that we got already, they were not
This-
inclined to do it because
it didn't score high enough on their
Any-
checklist to
well, I
warrant the
mean-
money.
if they're saying that they would take, that the solution would be to take private property.
Mm-hmm.
The state would take private property and use it to widen the road, and that would allow turn lanes and all kinds of things.
Right.
But that's really something that they're disinclined to do unless, you know, it's a big deal. So, I mean, if we want to then say, all right, that's what we want to go on record as saying that the road needs to be widened, however you're going to do it.
I think your
Knowing
letter's
that
saying
that's
that,
what
right?
it's going
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, you can do that, but the way they determine it is they have a scoring system.
Yeah.
You know, accidents, traffic, and everything else, and then they have zones where those people's with that score goes into it and the funding comes down backwards.
Mhm.
And they said that it's, you know, there's not many points in it, it's not gonna ever come up for spending money on it.
They don't count near misses.
No.
So,
Right.
You know.
but so we had talked about at one of our meetings that what we would ask for is some
We can still
kind
keep
of.
asking, and that's nothing wrong with that, that's a good thing.
Yeah, but ultimately, if we're looking at solutions rather than, you know, someday when we're all dead, they're gonna widen the road, is to talk about some kind of a better warning system. So that people don't go whipping around the road on Van Brunt and then all of a sudden there's not park car, but a stop car where you turn. So, you know, they have a sign, I think it's too far away from the intersection.
Mm-hmm.
They need to have a bigger sign with, you know, dangerous intersection or something with flashing lights right at the sign, something that would slow down traffic so that people, and then there is room to get around a car making a turn. But people
Come up to it fast and don't see where in the bend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we went on record saying this is what we would be asking for, and we feel that it's reasonable and it doesn't require, you know, the state to come in and grab private property and all that kind of stuff, then maybe we stand a chance.
Even if there's regrading there, because it goes on about 5 different directions, it's graded the wrong way for the turn. You know what I mean?
It is.
Yeah.
But years ago, I remember years ago, there was a fatal accident at that intersection. And they came in and they took down, that intersection was even higher than it really came down. And they took a couple of feet off of it. And it really didn't do anything. I mean, it still needs to be done. The big problem is not so much with the hill as it is, you don't see. It's a fairly sharp turn, you know, you just can't see.
Well, supposedly the kid that hit John Ulas's and his friend was on his phone. And never
Right.
even saw him till it was right there.
That's a problem at everywhere, every road,
Yeah,
every
yeah,
intersection, so.
Yeah.
So ultimately, our goal is that
If
they
you could
they can.
get me the information on that accident, I'll then throw it in when I speak to them about it.
I don't have it, you have the information?
I'll talk to John about it.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll see him in the morning.
Okay. We have 4 plans, Joe, 7, 9 plans
Actually, there's
to redo Village Hall.
4 here.
4.
There's 1, 2, and 2A, and 3. 2A is my modifications to here in pencil.
In pencil. Okay, so plan 1, the meeting room goes this way, with seats here, and the main office is in the back, Frank's office is in the back, but we realized with plan 1 that we need a place to put Christine. So we kind of got rid of plan 1, right, Joe? Okay. Plan 2. Plan 2 was, okay, so see the little dotted lines here? Shot where the 6 seats are, the 8 seats in the main room? This is where we planned on putting Court, which would be Christine. So that would come out from there to here, then the room would go that way, bathroom would stay where it is, take out the kitchen, bump out the wall, do a little kitchenette here, and then the clerk's office would be here and Frank's office would be back there. Plan 3 is exactly the same as Plan 2, except for the entrance door would be between Code's office and the clerk's office on the side of the building over here, and this would stay as handicap access. So those are the 3 plans that we're up to right now.
Is it possible to have a folding door here so that she would have a workplace, but then we could
Open up for the meetings?
Yeah, well, we have a desk in there, I don't know.
Yeah, and also I think there was some kind of, originally we were gonna put her in the main room at like a desk, but she said that that's not allowed.
The court will not allow her,
Right.
anybody access to.
She needs to have like a,
Just be able to close the door.
Mhm.
so,
That's why in plan 2, we put the wall across with a door in it.
right,
You end up with a 7-foot by 11-foot room on plan 2A there. We took out the 8 chairs that comes to back there.
really plan 2 and 3, if you look at 3, the only difference between 2, even though it is a little different, but really the real difference is where we're gonna put the entryway, where people are gonna come in. So our options are, we don't have the door here, we use the door over here as the entryway, but then where do people park? We were saying on this side, but you know. But there is parking over here where they could just have a path that walks right up to the door.
Wasn't there an issue about this being designated as a parkland and
Just to extend the building out. We don't know, because if we wait for that answer,
Yeah, it has nothing to do with parking.
yeah, it has nothing to do with the parking's
well,
okay.
but using that land for, because we can bump the building out this way, right?
No, this is exactly the same footprint.
So
It just fits more people.
You're not touching the building at all.
Just using that hallway as seating.
Mhm.
Well, the hallway and this whole thing.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah. The nice thing about this is, we can do it in phases. We could actually start moving them to the back, and then finish the first part, the second part at one, like instead of doing it all, we could do it a little bit at a time, consistently, but they don't have to go out into a trailer. It's, you know, so the real issue is, Plan 3 is the plan, it's just whether we're gonna put a door in over there, or we're gonna use that door. So,
I think we should leave the door right there and not add all that expense and then have them walk.
But you
It's
know,
gotta be maintained.
Well, it's gonna be a door over there with a walkway coming up.
Yeah, yeah, but that's a lot of
but you know,
expense.
we have this nice front door here. And this
Right.
is where people are gonna go to.
Well, they can go to, but what's gonna happen is they're gonna be walking through a meeting room every single time they come in, which is odd.
Well, so if we have a side door though, like, we're gonna probably have
Door
to
in
spend a
the back.
little time making it into a real entranceway. I mean,
Well, yeah, Mike was gonna do a little like
Okay.
thing, and then, you know, the clerk's office and a little stone pathway, so people know where to go,
okay.
so.
Yeah, you have to pay for that, but.
Right,
That's big. No stones,
No
just paving.
okay.
You gotta put a stoop in, and you gotta put a shed roof over the top of the stoop if you're going to rain
Nice.
from pounding on the door.
Right,
Yeah.
I mean, I could have him price
is
out
the one
with the
with
door
the-
and without the door, but he didn't seem to think it was a big a deal.
No, the door.
He thought it was
itself
kinda weird that
yeah,
people
what
would
I'm
be
saying
walking
is-
through the meeting room.
ADA
Putting in a door is not a big deal.
Mhm.
This
But
has got a
to
stoop, this would have a
To
stoop.
make it as an official place
This
for
would
the
be higher
village
than
hall,
this one.
business.
Mhm.
I mean, we still have that, and people would, like, who will be coming to one of our meetings.
That they can come through,
would
because
Come through,
that,
and it's like a welcome to Village Hall, it's got an entranceway. But to have like a little side door for the average person who comes to Village Hall for business, really is, it's, you know, and you do have to have it handicapped accessible, you can't have,
Yeah.
it could be,
well, the handicapped accessible is gonna stay, the ramp's gonna stay, so anyone who needs handicap's gonna use that.
okay, well,
Okay.
it's a, if nothing else, it's a tripping hazard. But anyway, we would have to make it a nice enough entrance that that's where business is conducted. It doesn't look like we're having people go around back. You know.
Exactly. We can price both out with a nice, you know, and see what it's gonna be. But I think this is we've worked on this for a while, and I think this is the best plan.
Yeah, what's not showing on all of these
You can do
plans for
that
the
with
big room
landscaping
itself,
things and that.
no, what's not showing up is that from the front door to the posts in the meeting room on both sides, wrought iron railing,
Oh,
open wrought iron railing. So that the rampway coming into the building, come to the flat area, go up the rampway to this floor, you're all ADA accessible. And with the railings on the side, nobody can fall off into the side area. Like they do today when they come out that door and somebody stumbles over. Got one step down.
What do you want for
They never-
$182,000?
They never see that step.
So, this, according to Mike, would now seat 57
Right,
here. So what do we gain? How many do we have?
27.
27?
yeah, plus, well, no, it's actually gonna be more than that. Yeah, well, we also would have, yes, it's gonna be 57. So I'll have him at least give us an estimate before we bid it, just to see. Okay,
You're taking the 8 seats, 8 seats, then you go down to 50.
right.
Plan number 2. Same thing in plan number 3, taking the 8 seats out of whatever. But one of the other things we looked at was basically taking those row of 8 chairs across in both instances on this side and splitting them onto the walls and putting the aisle down the center, which gives you
Easier access to the.
easier access to the center and also gives you the edges for
Do
more
you need
more
a
seating.
separate, room for Frank?
Yes,
And Code and Court?
we can't fit, we tried today, we measured all the furniture and stuff, we can't fit them both in the same room. We thought that we could have a desk there for court, and they could use it, but there's not enough room. So we will. Okay. So, I'll table this to June.
Okay.
Well, not table, get a bid. Right.
We need a bid, so
Right.
basically we have to look at which one is the more viable option.
Well, he's just gonna give us a rough estimate, then we can go, then we'll bid it, once we pick which one. Let's see what he says about the two places, and at the same time, maybe we'll meet with the village landscaping too and see what it would cost to do landscaping on that side, so we have the full cost. Okay?
And you gotta do landscaping and you gotta do the walkway.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's why I wanted to stay with the cheap option,
We'll have to do it.
without the door.
I think that would probably be better too.
But then they have to come in that side.
So what's the difference? You
If you're going around that side, you're going around that side. What's the difference? You still don't
Yeah,
do
but
that.
now you're not adding a whole door and a stoop and then a paved
But this
path.
is even crummy.
Right,
You can
exactly.
Imagine that.
So then, put a path there.
It's like going in the back, we got the basement storm entrance there.
Right, exactly.
Watch your step, don't fall into the basement.
We don't use that side of the
It's
building,
gotta be
it's
nice.
shaded.
Come on, what's
It's, yeah. Again, we'll get the prices and go from there. Okay, the building permits for the dock, Nelson Hope and Boyde's is sending over the permits that they submitted, but we have to do a building permit for the village, so I can either have the village engineer fill it out or the building inspector fill it out. June's meeting, I wanted to waive the fee, obviously, we're not gonna pay the village's not gonna pay ourselves for the permit. So, once I have that, I'll put the packet together, and at the June meeting, I'll come to the planning board and give it to you guys to start reviewing, so, okay.
Now, by that time, we would have to have an exact location. Weren't we saying that depending on the bottom and some other factors, it may be a little this, a little that,
The
but
bid was based on the location of, it going by the sump. Because the water was deeper there, and it was cheaper to go out there than it was to go on the right side, if you're facing the water, the right side of the boat ramp, it was more money to go on that side.
It had to go out further.
so we do have an exact
We do.
location, which can now be sketched out.
Yeah,
Okay.
let me see if I have it with me. I didn't bring it with me, but I can email it to you. Okay.
Now, let's see.
Okay, Joe, you wanna talk about street sweeping, drain cleaning, potholes?
Okay, we're gonna have to bid out the street sweeping, we're gonna have to bid out potholes, and we're gonna have to bid out the drain cleaning.
I don't know if there's any drain cleaning, because right now I only have 3 drains,
Oh, okay.
so I think that might be okay. And street sweeping too, last year was only $875, right?
Depends on how many days he has to work.
Okay, we're trying to get, the town
Now,
of Brookhaven.
Brookhaven will do some of our work for us
Right,
on a contract basis based upon our intermunicipal agreement that we already have in place.
so we're gonna try
We
and
don't
get
know what
prices
they're
from
gonna
them.
charge. We're gonna
Right.
get a price from, I sent everything to the town of Brookhaven yet this morning. We sent them a copy of the streets, where we want the striping to be done, Washington Street and Van Brunt. Where we want sweeping to be done, they're gonna have to pick up a map of the entire village. And then we have potholes and repairs that we're gonna need, and we're probably gonna ask them for a quote on that. They will come in and physically inspect the village and give us back a price quote in writing, which we can compare to. Again, we're gonna have to bid it out, so we'll bid it out also at the same time.
Does that include curbs?
No,
No,
Well, we really need to
Berms.
attend, not the Chestnut Avenue project, but a lot of curbs have been ripped out for plowing.
okay, so,
And there's a couple, I just noticed one, it's on Walnut, in front of what was the Mason's house, across from the Hesses. There's no curb, and the water just goes onto the property, and there's a big washout. It's now like almost a foot deep. So we need to redirect that water. That's why the curb was put there in the first place. So
Mike and I are meeting with a concrete contractor next week for different areas throughout the village. We'll look at this one too, to get prices compared to concrete curbing, like a blackish that blends in with the landscaping compared to what the berms are, because the berms just keep falling apart,
yeah,
you
well, that's
know?
what when we talked about the Chestnut job. Those blacktop berms are not going to do it,
Mhm.
and so
We're thinking if we could do a little bit each section, keep doing it, that would be, I mean, Sharon Road has to get done, there's a bunch of them, so we're gonna meet with them next Wednesday. We're gonna go through each one, get a price, we might have to bid that
I
out
was
too.
gonna say,
But
that's a
at
big
least,
job.
at least it gives us an idea of what the cost would be and do we have the money to do it. That's really what it comes down to, so.
And right now the list for pothole and berm repair is 26 potholes. And the skim outs you can't even count the number of skin outs. The berm repair, I went out and measured New Street, that's 32 feet. The southeast corner of number 10 Sharon is 42 feet. In front of number 7 Sharon is 63 feet, and in front of number 4 Sharon is 30 feet. That's the berm length, and then we're looking at all of the potholes and skin outs on Washington Street. So this afternoon after work, I went down and I measured the Washington Street, it's Washington Street from where our village sign is, it says Village Hall, Justice Court, down to 62 Washington, which is John Fry's house, 64 Washington, I should say, where we had the patchwork done from that area down further on Washington Street. So we got that huge patch that we put in a couple of years ago. So we can take from that patch all the way up to past Birchwood, which is 570 feet up the street, full length, and 25 feet wide, and I can get a price for that. But what our thought was we'd put out a bid for the 26 potholes that we know exist, the berms that we know we need to fix right now, and the 570 foot long by 25 foot wide paving, which will take out some of the potholes on Washington.
We may have to add Sharon Avenue to that paving too. We'll look at it this weekend and see. You don't think so? Did you look at that?
Sharon is not a problem. It's got 3 potholes.
Okay.
The big problem again is in front of number 7 and number 4, where the berm is gone.
Okay.
And you've got a washout that's behind both edges of the paving. So if we put a berm on the paving and then backfill the area, we should be able to reclaim Sharon without that much of a problem.
Where you gave these feet for new, Sharon, these are all for the berms, right?
Those are berms.
Okay.
I measured every one of them.
Okay.
We want to go out and basically put out a 3 or 4 part bid, break it all down and give, you know, this
Each section so we can decide, right.
We go all back and we get the same thing from the town of Brookhaven, we'll just compare them all and see what we can do. How much can we get done with the amount of money we're gonna end up with?
We thought the town of Brookhaven would be faster in responding with what it would be, and if we use them, we don't need to bid it out. And it's just taking forever.
And they gotta come in and review it and appraise it
And bump
and
it up the
quote it
line.
and bump it up high.
Well, according to them, asphalt's at its lowest price, and they can give us a great deal, but we
It
can't get
ain't
anyone
the
to come
asphalt-
out and
It
do
isn't
it.
the asphalt with them.
I know, but that's what they told me.
That's the cost of their bodies. We pay for everything with the town of Brookhaven.
Brian James emailed me yesterday. He wants the street fixed in front of his house immediately.
Who is he? What street?
Sharon and on
Oh.
the corner of Maybeck.
Sure, he's on.
And
he's
I
on
told
Tuesday.
him, I sent him an email back that we were looking at it, and we could be taking care of it as soon as the paving companies were
Ready to go.
ready to go.
Yeah. So,
You know that initiative from the governor, doing
Sure.
consolidation, or
Mhm.
whatever? Would that help if we went with Brookhaven in that regard, or we're good anyway and we don't have to even use them?
well, the reason for the consolidation is they're saying if you're working with the town, they should be able to give you a better rate. And that's what the town was telling us when we we're sitting in the meeting, we can't give you a better rate. We just can't get it to come together too quickly. We started April 12th, and it's a month later, and we're still
Well,
looking.
Could we get a private company to come in and do some of the emergency repairs
Yeah.
that really need to be done? In the meantime, talk to Brookhaven about, something like Joe was describing, big, and
I'm gonna see if,
just not do it all.
since we're already Mike and I are meeting with a bunch of people on Wednesday anyway, if Cindy can get the highway superintendent to come down on Wednesday at the same time, we can at least go through it with him, and then maybe we'll get a price quicker, so.
Well, I do share that sentiment that, we need to get going on this. And any given homeowner is gonna say, enough is enough, and we don't on. I mean, there are reasons for it, but it's already May, and some of these things, especially the washouts, every rain, you just see,
Flooding everybody.
yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of curbs, I realize that there's not enough of a curb. It's not broken, but there's not enough of a curb at the bottom of Chestnut. We have a drain, there's two drains there.
Are you talking about going towards?
Towards the path, you know, there's two
Yes.
paths that go up to the
Uh-huh.
stairs. So the one closest to Dr. Bolia,
Mhm.
in a rain, that water is sufficient to just go right over the curb that goes down what is now a blacktop path instead of the brick. And that whole torrent of water is what's washing out the gravel at the merge where the two paths meet.
Yep.
So we need to put a better barrier there, because there's a lot of volume of water that comes rushing down in the big rain. You've got Chestnut, you've got Walnut.
Well, you got big hills there.
Yeah, so, I mean, otherwise we're gonna continually have that problem, because you said that you guys just put a whole bunch of gravel down there?
Yep.
Well, I don't know if you've walked down there,
Yeah.
it's already washing away.
Yeah, one of the things we were talking about is on 1 Oak Street, dropping a third drain next year that could capture some of that water if the 2 drains we put in this year don't capture it all. I mean, I went down, there was raining, it was coming out
Yeah,
fast.
oh, I know. But that wouldn't help this problem.
Right.
We still have to raise up.
Well, there is a
the curb.
drain there that has to be cleaned out. There's 2 drains, actually. There's the drain that you said that needs to be cleaned.
Yeah.
There's a drain on the left-hand side that was buried,
Yeah.
that was collapsing, right? Remember that one?
Yeah.
So that's all gonna be done.
Mhm.
Actually, the contractor's meeting us on Wednesday to see where everything's being placed. And so, yeah, maybe instead of having the berm there, which should be a curb.
Well, that first drain always gets covered over. Doesn't take long at all. That's why I remember we were talking about assigning somebody that just stay on top of that, because between leaves and the amount of sand that goes rushing down there, that's the first one that gets blocked. And for as long as I could remember, I would be walking up that path wondering, how come there's so much water that's washing away the path? And then it dawned on me that it's because it's coming from the street over the curb.
Yeah.
Going down that way.
Well, Poquott just put in all kinds of
Landscaping.
landscaping
Yeah,
in
it's all,
there.
it's all.
And it's all washed out, the
Yeah.
rut is like this deep already,
Mhm.
right on the end there. That needs more than a berm, that needs a curb.
Yeah, well, that's what we'll be looking at on Wednesday,
Yeah.
so. So that's where we are, so, anyway. Anything else on the maintenance for the spring? Okay. Planning board, this year, I believe, is Roger's last year. Do you wanna see if anybody's interested on the planning board on taking over the chairman spot? Before we see if we find someone on the outside? Maybe one of the people like Ted or Mark, that have been there for a long time?
Roger doesn't want to stay on?
I don't know. Why don't you find out? I didn't know if that was an option. I thought after the 7 years they have to.
No,
No, no, no.
you
Okay.
just get
Oh, that,
reappointed.
okay. Would you find that out?
Sure.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Sometimes we give them a life sentence.
Yeah.
Hey, anyone who wants to
With good
volunteer, step
behavior.
up.
No, no, there's no good behavior. You're on for life.
Place set?
Yeah, well,
John
I
said
saw
he'll
that
help you whenever you need help, so.
The new swing